Views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
This show's audio was via a Skype call.
Find your path to wholeness with UniverSoul Heart Radio, sensible spirituality for everyday living. Join Kathleen Johnson as she discusses how to integrate spirituality into our lives, allowing our true selves to flourish, grow, and impact all we do on planet Earth. Kathleen will guide listeners through such topics as Reiki, meditation, soul evolution and growth, past life exploration, energy healing, spiritual guidance, and more. UniverSoul Heart Radio. Learn to live life in balance from the ground up.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Kathleen Johnson, and you are listening to UniverSoul Heart Radio on Transformation Talk Radio. As always, thank you so much for sharing part of your day with us. I truly am grateful for all our listeners. It really means so much to me when you listen in. So hopefully you'll be able to join us every month as we explore the concept of sensible spirituality and what that means to me and to my listeners. So to recap very quickly from previous shows, sensible spirituality is about fully living life in 3D reality, otherwise known as planet Earth, while understanding and embracing our true nature, which is, as spiritual beings, having a human experience, not the other way around. So when we begin to understand and accept that very simple concept that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, when we begin to understand that and accept it and start to apply it to our daily lives, something amazing begins to happen. And what that is a shift in perspective. And when we shift our perspective into that place of being, into that sense of knowing, we shift it into a higher vibration. And that allows us to view life through the lens of a spiritual being living a human life on planet Earth. And that changes everything. That shift in perspective makes all the difference because it elevates and it helps to clarify much of what we experience when we're in a human body. And of course, I'm sure I'm speaking to the choir here when I say that living in a human body on planet Earth can be incredibly difficult, but it can also be incredibly beautiful and joyful. And shifting the perspective from human perspective to soul perspective can really make the difference and bring back a lot of the beauty and joy that life really does offer. So thanks again for being here. Each month's show will feature a discussion of ways to incorporate spirituality into your everyday life, helping you to flourish and grow while living your life in balance from the ground up. Sensible spirituality is not about anybody having special talents, gifts, abilities, skills. No. Sensible spirituality is something we all have access to. So every month we explore different ways of working with our spirituality in sensible, everyday ways that can really make a difference in our lives. So I invite you to visit my website at www.universoulheart.net. I love to hear from you, so if you check out the website and you find something interesting or you have a question, shoot me an email. I would love to hear from you. Now, even better, today we have a guest. I'm very excited about this. I always love having guests. It just kind of adds so much to the show, and then I don't have to drone on for an hour. It's great. Today we have Shawn Adler. Shawn Adler is the founder and the president of Healing Crystals, also healingcrystals.com, which, as you might guess, is a crystals website, and they have a showroom in Virginia as well. And Shawn is a really interesting guy. He has quite an interesting backstory, and we're calling it From Corporate to Crystals. And we'll have him on a little bit later in the show, and I'm super excited to have him here, and I'm really grateful that he took some time out of his day to join us for today's broadcast. So we'll be catching up with Sean in a little while. All right. Now, if you tuned in last month to my show, the one in January, we talked about the energies of this year, the energies of 2018, and how they are really, really different and unique and pivotal in terms of humanity and planet Earth. We've had some really unusual astrological occurrences, unusual weather occurrences. The energies of this year have been crazy. Rapid manifestation, emotional ups and downs, insights coming in like crazy, furiously, fast and furious. There's been a lot of understanding quickly coming in and lessons learned. And that is what the energy of this year is going to be about all year long. So far, it's been a really wild ride. And as I say, fasten your seatbelts, because I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. But we have the potential to really emerge into the new earth, the new consciousness this year, which is really what this year, 2018, is all about. And keeping that in mind, this time that we are living in right now, these times demand a different perspective of how we live and why we live and what we're doing. And in keeping with that thought and that concept, the holistic healing arena, if you will, is expanding and it's gaining ground. And I see it because of the work I do, which is in holistic wellness. I see it all the time in my practice. I also am very much aware of it with the people I speak to just in general. People are starting to wake up and think about doing things in a different way. The energies of 2018 are really making a difference. And okay, so we have holistic healing, the concept of that and the system of holistic healing. It's a very broad system, of course. There are many facets to holistic healing. It is expanding and it's gaining ground, as I said. Two of the main players in holistic healing are Reiki and crystals. So if you notice the title of today's episode, I called Reiki and crystals a power couple in holistic healing. So what does that mean? I thought the phrase power couple perfectly describes what Reiki and crystals do in the holistic healing concept. And what does that mean? For me, it's a perfect example of synergy. You've probably heard the sentence or the phrase, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Now that's been around for a long time because it was first coined by the philosopher Aristotle. So obviously it's been around for quite some time. So what does that exactly mean? Well, in terms of Reiki and crystals as a power couple for holistic healing, it is about combining those modalities in a given session, any given session, which layers the healing. So when each element is together and combined in a healing session, the process of healing is elevated and enhanced. The total effect is greater. That's just the way it works with synergy, and that's the way it works when you combine Reiki and crystals, that power couple of holistic healing. So I want to briefly take a look at each one. First of all, Reiki. If you've listened to any of my previous broadcasts, you know that is sort of my thing. I am passionate about Reiki. I live Reiki. I practice Reiki. I try to be Reiki as much as I can because Reiki is all about love and caring and acceptance and raising vibration and being healthy and well. So I try to be Reiki as much as I possibly can. It's an amazing, amazing modality. Okay. but if I take it down a couple notches and stop getting a little too crazy about it, Reiki is a natural healing method. It is a non-invasive healing modality. It utilizes universal life energy to enhance the body's natural healing abilities. It involves the transfer of this universal life energy through the practitioner into the client. It helps to clear and balance energy. I had someone tell me a couple of weeks ago, they described Reiki as a gateway to energy medicine. I had never heard it called that, but I thought that was really apt, very appropriate. And because for many reasons. First of all, Reiki is available to everyone. It doesn't require any special talents or skills or abilities. It has lasting benefits. It is easily learned. And the good news with Reiki is that it is becoming more and more mainstream all the time. And I am so delighted to see this trend because it just gives me hope. It gives me a lot of hope for the planet and for humanity. Reiki heals on all levels. And when I say all levels, I'm referring to the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual levels of our being. And it can address virtually every health issue. One of the greatest Reiki healing benefits is stress reduction and relaxation. And when stress is reduced and relaxation is enhanced, that triggers the body's natural healing abilities. It aids in better sleep and improves and maintains health. Okay, so that's Reiki. Now, crystals, when we talk about crystals, it's a little bit of a different situation. The woo-woo factor, is a little bit higher with crystals, more so than with Reiki. However, I do see that slowly changing too, which is wonderful, because crystals are an important tool in the holistic healing toolkit. So we're almost ready to go to our first break, which is hard to believe, but we are. But there is science behind crystal healing, believe it or not, a lot of science. And having a basic understanding of that science helps to dispel some of the doubts and the skepticism that remains with crystal healing. So it's about time to go to break. There's a lot to talk about when we come back. Crystals, how they can help, and how crystals and Reiki work together. You're listening to Universal Heart Radio with Kathleen Johnson. You can reach me through my website, www.universalheart.net. Has all my contact information. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Steffen each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This hit show will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. Visit thetruthисfunny.com.
Have you ever said to a friend, I am trying to be less stressed. I am hoping to meet someone special. Or how about, I am working on getting a job I love. Hi, I'm Eve from Elite Tarot, host of the weekly show Mainstream Metaphysics Radio. Words like hoping, wanting, and trying may seem innocent. However, they carry with them emotional weight that actually blocks energy. Next time you start to say these words, say instead, I am becoming less stressed. I am looking forward to meeting someone special. I am pursuing a job I love. While your brain may resist, note how your body physically feels as possibility of success suddenly appears. As an intuitive coach and professional tarot card reader, I work with clients worldwide on using energy effectively to embrace joy. If you'd like to schedule a session, please visit my website at elitetarot.com. That's ELITETAROT.com.
Did you know that all of the shows on the Transformation Radio Network are available as podcasts to stream or download?
Really?
Check us out. Go to transformationradio.fm. We have business shows, spiritual shows, energy healing shows, and pretty much everything in between. Something for everyone, guaranteed to inspire, educate, and transform. We are transforming the world, one listener at a time.
The Janice Underwood Show, helping you create the life you want, not the life you tolerate. Tune in each Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio as Janice delves into the life creator system and the next step in your spiritual evolution. Janice Underwood is gifted at helping spiritually minded people shift their mindsets to unleash the creator within. Our souls wish to wake us up. Those of us listening hear the call. Do you? For more information, visit janiceunderwood.com.
We're back on Universal Heart Radio with Kathleen Johnson. Thanks for staying with us, and you'll be glad you did. At least I hope so. So thanks for coming back. All right. During the first part of the show, we talked about Reiki and crystals and how I see them as a power couple for holistic healing. And we talked a little bit about that and why I think of them as a power couple for holistic healing. Each one of them is really, really effective and amazing on their own as standalone healing methods, and I use each of them as standalone healing methods, as do many practitioners out there. So absolutely, they are wonderful on their own. Together, however, when they're put together in that power couple mode, they create a beautiful synergy for layering on the healing. I actually refer to it on my website as an energetic marriage, kind of into the whole, keeping it with the whole power couple theme, energetic marriage. But when you couple Reiki and crystal healing, wow, the synergy that is created is unstoppable. It truly is. Also, we talked about Reiki. A lot of people really get Reiki. They understand what it is on some level. It's energy healing. It's channeling energy for healthy living, for wellness, and all those things. Okay, Reiki is a lot more mainstream, and it is much more widely accepted than crystal healing. So I feel an obligation, if you will, to explain about crystal healing a little more, because I think we need to understand the basic science behind crystal healing in order to understand how crystals can help us. And I am not much of a scientist or a scientific person, but I do get this information that I'm about to share with you, and it certainly helped me understand a whole lot better how crystal healing actually works. Okay, so crystals have a fixed, repeating molecular pattern. In other words, they're geometrically perfect, and that makes their energetic frequency very, very stable, okay? Their frequency is always the same. I mean, it varies from crystal to crystal, whatever stone we're talking about, but their frequency is stable. And that means they resist entropy. Entropy is a fancy science word for disorder. It means disorder in a system. Things fall apart, that whole concept. You can explain entropy by thinking about your car. You drive your car, everything's great, but you have to put energy into that vehicle to make it continue to run well. You have to put oil into it. You have to put gas into it. You have to get it tuned up. You have to put air in the tires, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you don't do those things, the car stops running because of entropy. All right. So that's an idea of what entropy is all about. You have to put energy into a system to keep it running and doing well. Most things, including our human bodies, do not resist entropy because we don't have a geometrically perfect structure. Crystals do. So they resist entropy. They don't fall apart like we do, and our cars do, and our lawns do if we don't weed them and take care of them. So they have very stable energy. And because of that, their energy influences what's around them. So let's say we bring a crystal of some sort into our system, our field, our aura. The energy of that crystal begins to influence our energy, and it helps us to better resist entropy. And that concept is called entrainment. Their energy begins to change ours. It kind of brings it into a sync almost. And so that helps us to better resist entropy. As human beings, we have a mishmash of frequencies. We do not have stable frequencies, and therefore we are very subject to entropy, which is why as we get older, things break down, things fall apart. Crystals can help us to resist entropy, which is a wonderful way to stay well. And another way that crystals help is that many of them contain traces of therapeutic minerals that can be passed into the body to bring about healthful changes. An example of that is the stone lepidolite. I use lepidolite a lot in my sessions. Lepidolite contains lithium. And most of you have heard the word lithium. You probably know what it's used for. It's used by doctors for anxiety and for bipolar disorder. Holding lepidolite, I have a lovely lepidolite slice, and holding that lepidolite is very calming and soothing because of the lithium that it contains. Another example is malachite. Malachite is a beautiful stone. It's green with black waves, and it's a gorgeous stone. Malachite can help arthritis pain because of its copper content. So those are just some of the ways that crystals can actually help the human body, the human energy field. They definitely have a place in the holistic healing arena. There is a really famous author and practitioner of crystals. Her name is Judy Hall. She has written a number of books over the years. I have a lot of respect for Judy Hall. She's done wonders for crystal healing. And she says the crystals have been used for healing and protection in every region of the world for at least 7,000 years. So obviously, something's right about them because they wouldn't still be used if they weren't working. So, okay. So now you got your crash course on crystal healing and why they can help. So how do crystals and Reiki work together? I think that's something we need to talk about. It's about the energy. We layer on the healing energy, and that can be done very easily through a Reiki crystal healing session. And a Reiki crystal healing session is exactly what it sounds like. It's a Reiki session that incorporates crystal healing into the session. And it's very much like a typical Reiki session, except it has a whole lot of crystals involved, which makes it even cooler. The crystals that are used in a Reiki crystal healing session are based on information that the client provides about how they're feeling, maybe some struggles they're facing, some issues. And I also, when I work with the client with crystal healing and Reiki, I always do an energetic scan before I begin the actual session, and that also gives me a sense of where the areas in need are. And most practitioners will tell you also that crystals are chosen by intuition. If you are drawn to use a certain crystal, if you just feel like this is the one that you need to work with, it probably is, because your intuition is not going to steer you wrong. It's when we start thinking about it too much that we start to fall off the rails a bit. Our intuition is always right on. So during the Reiki crystal healing session, crystals are chosen, and they are placed on the areas where they need to go, on the areas of need. And during the session, they may be moved, adjusted, removed, readjusted as needed. And again, this is all done by scanning, checking the energy of that area and the intuition of the practitioner. And what I have found, it's kind of cool in a session, sometimes crystals, when placed on an area of the body that is really out of balance or has blockages, the crystal itself will become very warm, much warmer than you would think, or that can be explained by just being in contact with the person's clothing. They will get very, very warm. And for me, that always tells me, I interpret that as, wow, the crystal is really working very hard here along with the Reiki. So we have the crystals going, we have the Reiki going, and this all occurs simultaneously. And as the practitioner channels Reiki in the session, the crystals are doing their thing. And they're placed on the body of the client, also around the body of the client. In a crystal healing session, I have crystals underneath the Reiki table. I have them on either side of the client. I have them above and below the feet and the head. They're everywhere. I have them all over. And the energy of those crystals is being enhanced and elevated by Reiki and vice versa, which creates synergy, an amazing healing synergy for the person receiving this beautiful healing process. And at the end of the session, based on how it went and the impressions the practitioner may have received during the session, for me, I always write up a little crystal prescription for the person, like, okay, I suggest you start working with these crystals because these might help to strengthen your, pick an area, any area, strengthen your heart chakra. It may help to strengthen your solar plexus chakra, that type of thing. So I'll always provide a little bit of a crystal prescription at the end, because crystals can certainly promote and support health. And I like to do that for clients before the end of the session. So that is how Reiki and crystals really work together. And I also use them in my regular Reiki sessions. I just don't use quite as many. But Reiki and crystals go hand in hand with holistic healing. Now I'm looking at the time again, and my goodness, it's about that time. I'm going to need to take a short break in just a few moments. When we come back, I'm going to be bringing Sean Adler on. I'm going to be so happy to introduce him. Again, he's the founder and the president of Healing Crystals. And Sean is also a Reiki master, which is very cool. And he's quite familiar with today's power couple. Crystals are sort of Sean's life in many ways. And he also has a lot of really interesting things on board besides the crystals and the Reiki. So I'm looking forward to bringing him on and talking with him about his journey and crystals and all kinds of fun stuff. So I'm Kathleen Johnson, and you're listening to Universal Heart Radio. When we come back, we'll hear from Sean and how he went from corporate to crystals and what crystals mean to him and his life path. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Thank you.
Is traditional medicine not working for you? Do you still feel as if your health isn't 100%? Here at the Holistic Medical Center, Dr. Nushin Darvish and the qualified staff look through the dimensions of wellness and start a healing plan prioritized to your needs. Our physicians assess the whole you until complete health is achieved. Get the help you need by visiting drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
To see your life from an angel's perspective, book a personal consultation with Claire Candy Huff, angelic walk-in angel Ariel at Angel Healing House. Candy provides intuitive counseling, Reiki, and angel readings in person in Los Angeles or nationally and internationally via phone or Skype. She will channel the practical tools you need to transform your life. Call now 831-277-3716 or visit angelhealinghouse.com.
Amber Teal, founder of The Healthy Edge, is bringing you the hit show Healthy Edge Radio, living with power, passion, and purpose. Amber provides the support and tools necessary for you to finally release the weight and emotions that are hidden beneath the weight. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio. For more information on how you can take the next step with Amber, visit getthehealthyedge.com.
Your happiness is your choice on Natural Peace Radio. Follow Sarah Van Ryswick as she addresses the power of emotions. Each month, Sarah covers different topics as she helps listeners activate their energetic spark and create powerful energy and amazing opportunities. Manifest your desires with Natural Peace Radio. For more information on Sarah and her work, visit naturalpeaceliving.com.
Interested in deepening your spiritual practice? The School for Esoteric Studies offers online training to spiritual seekers from all paths of life and individual coaching. Our courses synthesize Eastern and Western spiritual traditions based on meditation, study, and service applied to everyday life. To learn more about our courses and services, please visit www.esotericstudies.net.
The Knowledge Book, currently studied in 39 countries and 15 languages around the world, accelerates our evolution, takes us out of depression, offers universal truth, protects us, and makes us stronger, both spiritually and physically. So if you are interested in the Knowledge Book, visit usa.theknowledgebook.net and tune in to the Knowledge Book Radio with Marge Potasic on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Hello. We're back on Universal Heart Radio with Kathleen Johnson. And as I mentioned earlier, you can reach me through my website at www.universalheart.net or on any of the social media channels. I'm on all of them, Facebook, Instagram, et cetera, I do look forward to hearing from some of you at some point. It's always fun. So, okay, without further ado, as promised, Sean Adler is here with us today. He is the founder and the president of Healing Crystals. As I said before the break, he's a Reiki master as well, and he's quite familiar then with Reiki and crystals, today's power couple. He's a very knowledgeable crystal dude and an all-around great guy. Welcome, Sean. I'm so happy you're able to join us today.
Hello, Kathleen. Thank you. What a pleasure.
Yeah, this is fun. I know you and I have had many conversations on the phone, and I do know that you and I know how to dialogue. Am I right?
There you go. We have had some excellent conversations, and it's led to this. This is a neat opportunity.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm excited to have you here. So I know we've talked before about your journey and how you came to be where you are right now. And I call that coming from corporate to crystals. And I know your story a little bit. You've shared it with me, but our listeners certainly do not. So how does or did that happen, going from corporate to crystals, Sean?
Well, I was very fortunate in that I was successful in my first career, commercial real estate. And, while I was successful, it allowed me to check off those check boxes. I got good at my job. I got my wife. I got a beautiful child. I had a happy family. And I wasn't satisfied at work. While I was successful and I was making money, I found that money wasn't making me happy. I was missing watching my daughter grow up, and I really just wasn't feeling fulfilled. So I felt guided to do something different. I took some time off, and I met a gentleman, Dennis Lordy, in Guatemala, who I ended up founding a nonprofit foundation with, and he did an energy session with me. He does, it's based on kinesiology, and I came out of the session truly seeing life differently. And I decided to take some time off, and I took some Reiki classes. That was my first introduction. And when I discovered working Reiki and crystals, I really just, I felt that was my passion at the time. It all consumed me. And I founded Healing Crystals, and here we are. I founded Healing Crystals in 2004, so here we are 14 years later.
Wow, I really didn't know it had been that long. And just as an aside, I just want our listeners to know about my history with healing crystals. It's not nearly as long as yours, of course, but when I first began getting interested in crystals, I was very reticent and reluctant about buying crystals online. I felt like, oh, well, I want to hold them. I want to see how they feel in my hands, et cetera, et cetera. And I came across the Healing Crystals website, and I was just entranced by the sheer, selection, and just the energy of the site was amazing. So I took a leap of faith there, and this was quite a few years ago. I want to say 7 or 8 years ago, and I ordered my first batch of crystals from Healing Crystals, and honestly, I was just delighted, and I have always been happy with everything I've received from Healing Crystals. I have contacted the ladies who work there with questions over the years, and I've received so much information and knowledge just, joyfully shared. And so that is my history with Healing Crystals. And so whatever you did, Sean, you did it right, because the energy of that site is wonderful. And I just think it's a great way to introduce people to buying crystals online, because I know a lot of people are hesitant of that. I'm not alone in that. So whatever you're doing, keep on doing it, because you're doing a great job.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, and this is definitely sincere, because I continue to buy crystals from Healing Crystals, and it's my favorite site for crystals. So, and I've tried a few, but I am curious, Sean. Before you started feeling the restlessness, you said you weren't happy with your, what you were doing in life. Had you had any kind of spiritual epiphanies or knowledge or training prior to that, or did this just kind of come about out of the blue? How did this happen for you?
Well, when I was a kid, I liked playing with rocks, like all kids in the creek. So anything that glittered, or the quartz in Virginia, or the mica, I would be particularly fascinated with it. I knew nothing about the energy. I just knew I was attracted with it. And you bring children into any crystal store, you watch them just get fascinated with the crystals. So the crystals naturally attract people. So I don't know that was unique. When I went to Guatemala, I was open to a metaphysical or a human being having a spiritual experience, because I wasn't aware of the other way around, Kathleen.
Yes.
And it's still a journey, living life as a human, a spiritual person having a human experience. Every day I have to remind myself of that. And that was a great intro that you did. It really made me think. And I was a human being not aware of my spirituality, let alone having a spiritual experience in 2004. I had one. And Dennis Lordy pushed on my arm and did some kinesiology, and he asked my body a series of questions. And I watched my arm go up and down like it was somebody else's. And he didn't tell me anything. He just asked me a bunch of yes-no questions. And when I walked out, I realized that there was more to life than I understood, and that the doctors and the scientists didn't have all the answers. And I went through school thinking that, well, we as humans, we knew the answers. I kind of came from the I know place before that. And it opened my eyes to, whoa, now there's more that I don't know that I can even imagine. So I started discovering crystals and Reiki. And, well, I can tell you that we all look for our life mission. And I think some people do it in a very grounded way, and that's beautiful and perfectly fine. Some people do it on a very spiritual way, and that's beautiful and fine too. When I opened, I felt like becoming a successful real estate guy. I went to UVA, I went to undergrad business school. That's what I was built to do. And that's what society told me would make me happy. And I got there and I wasn't happy. And then, well, I started serving and learning the gift of service.
Right. Mm-hmm. Makes a big difference.
Reiki, when standing in Reiki as a practitioner, you stand in service. I get a little choked up.
Yes, you're right. And, you told me that. You said that to me, I think, during our very first conversation a couple of months ago, and that had a great impact on me, Sean. You stand in service, and I, of course, am very much into service, of course, what I do. But I had never thought of Reiki in those terms. And when you said it, I just felt this really strong emotion. It felt so real. It resonated very strongly with me. And I had never really thought about it that way, but that's exactly what the practitioner is doing. They are standing in service. And what a beautiful thing to offer, truly, and we need so much of that these days. There is no shortage of healing need.
There you go. Well, you going back to your earlier question, choosing a crystal online, that's why I opened up Healing Crystals. I took an interest in crystals, and I'm in Northern Virginia. We have 5-7 million people around Washington, D.C., and there aren't very many crystal shops here. Our selection is very limited, and I knew that I wanted to make crystals available. I saw an opportunity. I was a business guy. The web was booming, or was just opening in 2004. And it was a play for me. Let's just play and see what happens. And it turned into this. And so thank you for trusting us, buying a crystal sight unseen. And I do know people like to buy them in person. And really, when you can, it really is much more enrolling to hold the crystal and buy it in person when you can. We finally opened up our showroom after so many years because people kept on us for just that reason.
They kept bugging you, I'm sure. I know. I have yet to get to your showroom. A dear friend of mine was there last summer, and she brought me back some items, and I was just so thrilled. And she said it was really cool. She really enjoyed it. So, I would like to get down there at some point. Hopefully that will be in the cards for me. Maybe this year. You never know. I might just show up there one day, Sean.
You'll have to give me advance notice so we can roll out the red carpet for you, Kathleen.
I like the red carpet. That'd be great.
There you go.
So, no, it was a leap of faith for me ordering online. And but, I, as an energy practitioner, I go with energy, obviously. The energy of anything is kind of it's my barometer. What's the energy of it? And because energy doesn't lie. Energy can't be disguised. And the energy of your site just told me everything I needed to do, so I took that leap of faith, and I never looked back. And my goodness, it's already 1:15. I think we're going to skip this third break just because we're kind of rolling here, and I don't think anybody's going to object if we skip the break, so we're just going to keep on rolling here. So that was how I got to Healing Crystals. It was all about the energy. And isn't everything truly? It's really what it comes down to. It's about the energy. And since you started Healing Crystals and you did it, you came to Healing Crystals from that place of service and that desire to help to heal the planet and heal humanity. And your Healing Crystals mission statement really has always resonated with me, and I would really like you to tell the listeners what it is and talk a little bit about that, because I think you could do that far better than I can. So what is your Healing Crystals mission statement?
Well, our mission statement is promoting education and the use of crystals to support healing.
Beautiful. And
promoting education is the first 2 words, and it has nothing to do with crystals. And we find that I call them my people, our community that is interested in wellness and crystals, whether it's yoga and crystals, EFT and crystals, Reiki and crystals, essential oil and crystals. It's encapsulating for me all of the open-minded, healthy-minded, connected people that are walking around on this earth knowing that we're connected, knowing the namaste, that I am you and you are me. And we're trying to live a different way of life in that community and grounding it in real life. It's not always easy. So with that mission statement, we really try to promote education of all types of wellness. We do that through information on our site, on our Facebook page, and of course all sorts of crystals. Can I go to my prayer? Because we,
please do.
along with the mission statement, really, I closed my eyes a lot, and when I came out of meditation, this is what came out, that mission statement. I felt guided. You asked me why crystals. Well, when I kept closing my eyes, saying, well, if corporate real estate isn't for me, what's next? Higher self, God, what universe, whatever label you put on it. And I put on a lot of different labels, waiting for this booming answer. And it was never a booming answer for me. For me, I emerged with this sense, with a feeling. And the standing in service was one of them, that mission statement of promoting education to the wellness community and anyone with an interest in crystals and healing, because it kind of binds us all together in a certain way. The prayer came out really with it at the same time. For the highest good of all, we pray and intend that these crystals and minerals activate and fill themselves with the infinite love and light of spirit. Bless the person receiving these items, and may these crystals and minerals actively support their spiritual growth and healing efforts.
Yeah, that's a beautiful prayer. And that accompanies every healing crystals order.
We have a prayer card that goes in with every order. We ask, when I first hired people, we only had Reiki masters packing for us because I was a Reiki master and I had a bunch of friends. So I'd ask my friends to come and help me pick crystals. So it was all Reiki masters, and we used to have that on our site. It was all good. Well, we turned into a real business. It had to be people that really they needed a full-time job, and it wasn't doing energy work. They needed a full-time job in a warehouse and picking and packing crystals. And I had to find people that were mindful and interested in serving our community. And, you go into a lot of stores where you find that service person behind the counter that you really like in your neighborhood. You all know who they are. And we try to find them and keep them. We have a great small team. And so really with that prayer, that's our intention that we send out.
It's beautiful.
I'm gonna
keep going.
I'm gonna step out there a little bit, Kathleen, and so a part of my feeling of why I started healing crystals, I wanted to see if I could sell crystals online. I wanted to make crystals available to people in all parts of the world. I wanted to help to power up the crystalline grid. Every time I read about the crystalline grid, I started to tingle and my hair stood up on end. And when I bless those crystals with that intent, and I send them to customers who have asked for that energetically and know that they're connected, all of our customers who have received those crystals are connected and are helping to power up that crystalline grid.
Exactly.
And I actually feel there's a mission that I feel that we've reached past that tipping point. And there was a moment at which I felt guided to really, really push those crystals around the planet and put them in the hands of people who were awake and intentional. And hooray, everyone who's listening, that you know who you are, and whether you were receiving my crystals or someone else's, the crystals are all connected. They do not feel separation the same way human beings do.
Correct. We are very good at feeling separate, but we are not separate. And I think people are also starting to wake up to that as well. So the crystalline grid is a really beautiful example, and I think the way that you are working with that is just awesome, because people all over the world are buying your crystals, and the people who are buying them, as you said, are the ones who are awake and aware and interested and forward thinking. And so when the crystals come to them, and I don't think of crystals as possessions, and I don't think you do either. I think of them as allies. They work with me. They're not. I don't own them. I am taking care of them. I am stewarding them for the time being. And so the people that receive these crystals and work with them and care for them and love them, that matters so much. It helps to increase the vibration of the planet. And so what you're doing is truly a planetary change, Sean. And I applaud you. I think it's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I feel gifted to, be doing something that I feel is making a difference. And, it's one of those personal satisfactions. You got to close your eyes at night and feel like what you're doing is really what you should be doing.
Exactly.
And I guess it was not that way before, and I am. It's really a pleasure to be living a little bit more of a intentional life in that way.
Exactly. Intentional living is very important, and that's one of the goals of my show here, is to give people, like you're doing tonight, sensible, easy, like you said, grounded ways of connecting with spirituality, using crystals, whether on their own or with Reiki, but using crystals further connect us with each other, with the earth, with the universe. It makes such a difference. And that's sensible spirituality in my book, because we don't have to go live in a cave for 5 years to do this. We can just do it going about our everyday lives, keep a couple crystals in your pocket, however you wish to utilize them. And the crystals will work with you. I have seen it happen over and over again, and I am certainly a huge fan of crystals, because I know what they can do. And clearly you do too.
Well, sure. You are right. Excuse me, Kathleen. Crystals have been around a long time. They were quoted in the Bible, as you said with Judy Hall. She has noted crystals being referenced in ancient civilizations across the planet.
Absolutely.
They were adorned in the crowns of our kings and queens years back. They all utilized them. So it's interesting. In choosing a crystal for everyone, really follow your intuition.
Yes, absolutely. Intuition is the best.
Always follow your intuition in choosing your crystals.
I think that's the best way. Right. Now, I know that you have a couple of coupon codes you would like to offer to our listeners today. Can you give us that code so that if people are interested in checking out your site and maybe taking that leap of faith and buying some crystals, they can get a little bit of a discount?
Oh, well, you're very kind. If anyone out there would like to buy something from our site, please go healingcrystals.com. Check it out. Our specials page has a lot of great good deals on that now. And Kathleen 10 is a 10% off coupon code, good off your whole order. And it's Kathleen, Kathleen, and then 10. And you type that into the coupon section. If you have any trouble, you can always call Monday through Friday, 10 to 4 Eastern Time, and place your order on the phone, or get help with one of our team members at the warehouse.
Yes, and they will get back to you too. And also, why don't you tell them very quickly about the Healing Crystals community on Facebook and how they can be a part of that?
So we have if you go to Facebook.com Crystal Talk, that's our Healing Crystals Facebook page. We have quite an active community. I'm truly honored that we have received over 1 million likes and follows currently on our page. We have a wonderful community, and really, if you want to go and talk to people about any type of wellness issue for yourself or for a loved one, come on, post it, and we've got a great host of people that really are really interested in just connecting and giving back and sharing their knowledge and wisdom with others. It's really a neat space.
And I just want to include also that I have the distinct honor of being part of the Healing Crystals Facebook team. I'm a content contributor for Healing Crystals. I post Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays now, and I'm having a ball with it. So check it out. I think if you're interested in crystals and it's something that you would like to learn a little bit more about, it's a great place to start. So unbelievable, but we're almost out of time. I say this every month, but I'm always surprised at how quickly this hour just zips by. I want to thank Sean Adler for being here. Thank you so much, Sean, for sharing your passion for crystals, their healing benefits, and their benefits not just for individuals, but for humanity and the planet as well. And it really means a lot to me that you took time out of your day to be here with us and share your knowledge and your passion. Very important. I also want to thank all of you for tuning in to Universal Heart Radio with me, Kathleen Johnson. I had a wonderful time, as always. You can contact me at my website, as I've mentioned before, and our next episode is March 13th, and I hope to see you in March. In the meantime, remember to take care of your energy. It's what you're made of. So be kind to yourself and remember who you are, a spiritual being having a human experience. Thanks for listening. I am grateful for your time, and I hope to see you in March. Bye-bye now.
You've been listening to UniverSoul Heart Radio with Kathleen Johnson. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio and nourish your spirit, mind, and body. Kathleen Johnson draws upon her extensive knowledge of psychology and human behavior to facilitate healing and explore the concept of sensible spirituality. For more information on Kathleen and UniverSoul Heart LLC, or to listen to past shows, visit her website at universoulheart.net.